Social media and the internet love to romanticize being an entrepreneur.
But guess what?
Yeah, what convenient fact gets overlooked a lot?
Loneliness.
Ooh.
Loneliness.
So whether you're just starting out or trying to make payroll for hundreds of people, loneliness is something that many entrepreneurs end up feeling.
Yeah, at some point on their never-ending journey,
So on this episode, let's talk about it a little bit. What do you
I
think?
think we should talk about loneliness.
Damn, son.
You
So-
might be in a car by yourself on the way to work, even though you have 100, 500, 1,000 people that report to you, but you feel lonely.
This is the not sexy part of running a business
That's right.
no one talks about.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's go. Depressing topic, happy song. I'm Jonathan Noel.
And I'm Brian Noah,
This is the Focus Cast.
where we drop focus guides for founders with a
7 or 8 figure goal.
oh my gosh. So let's get focused as. So what the fuck is loneliness exactly, bro?
That's a great question. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Like, what is this feeling? We all, whenever you say it though, it's kind of ubiquitous, or you know it.
Yeah.
Everyone has felt it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put a thumb on it though.
That's right.
So it's can be described as feeling sad and unhappy about being socially isolated.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or destitute of sympathetic or friendly companionship.
Oh, so you don't have any sympathetic friends or companionship.
Yeah. So probably if you're a founder and you're very successful, you might feel like the people you interact with either are employed by you or want something from you.
That's exactly a point that gets made that's talked about later.
Man,
So true.
loneliness.
So real quick, let's
All
hit
right.
some good old-fashioned potential health effects
Ooh,
from
this is
loneliness.
good. What happens when you're
pretty
lonely?
Brutal, actually, and this is coming from the CDC.
Oh my gosh. So bullet one is social isolation significantly increases a person's risk of premature death from all causes, a risk that may rival those of smoking, obesity, and physical inadequacy.
Inactivity.
Oh shit. Yeah, that.
But I think that pretty much, even though there's more bullets, that pretty much sums it up right there.
So loneliness can cause premature death above all of the very bad things we hear about.
Wow. Being lonely sucks.
Wow.
It can also, it looks like
Suck your life out.
social isolation was associated with about a 50% increased risk of dementia.
Oh wow.
Wow. So you're alone, which is already fucking sad. Watching
Yeah.
TV all day as an old person,
Yeah.
retired, no one to talk to. And your brain just starts melting, basically.
So you devote your entire life to building this thing, this machine, and while you feel isolated all through it, the final result is you in a nursing home by yourself with dementia.
That's that's one way to paint the most depressing story you possibly can for an entrepreneur.
So it means like maybe you should focus on the now. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Another bullet. These are all from the CDC, same study. Poor social relationships characterized by social isolation or loneliness were associated with a 29% increased risk of heart disease and a 32% increased risk in stroke.
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So like we read about like what you eat and how you don't exercise and like a life of stagnation and all this shit causes heart attacks and strokes.
But
But
no one's talking about loneliness is actually increasing this risk as well.
didn't we read in the stat somewhere in a previous episode where like more people feel lonely now, even though social engagement's up so much and we spend so much time on social, like people feel more lonely than ever?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a problem. Loneliness was associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide.
I mean, with everything else we've been listing off, it's kind of par for the course here.
Good grief. Wow.
Loneliness among heart failure patients was associated with a nearly 4 times increased risk of death, 68% increased risk of hospitalization, and 57% increased risk of emergency department visits. Department? Whatever.
Yeah, I think the overall sentiment here is loneliness is absolutely not good for our mental and physical health. You all right, bro? You lonely?
I'm pretty lonely. I'm getting a cough. I'm getting a bad lonely cough.
Golly. Okay, so according to the story in the Harvard Business Review, half of the CEOs from the CEO Snapshot survey reported experiencing feelings of loneliness in their role. So this isn't just people who, you picture like in a house by themselves, not doing anything. But this is a problem for CEOs too. Like founders, CEOs, solopreneurs struggle with feeling lonely, and the impact of that is obviously detrimental.
Yeah. So I pulled up this Forbes article.
All right.
Right? And I threw it in here because it really kind of outlines some potential stages of entrepreneurship where you feel lonely.
Oh, this is
It's
good.
actually pretty wild because even at most levels of success, the variables kind of change, but there can still be that same result of loneliness.
Oh, I'm digging this, bro. What do we
know,
got?
right? First one, the solopreneur.
Ooh, me, myself, and I.
Yep. When an entrepreneur hones in on their first business, they often feel like they're on an island with no one to talk to. Friends and family try, but they usually don't understand why you're pouring your whole life into something. So this is the first stage.
First stage, solopreneurs working hard, trying to execute whatever model they have. And, people don't understand why, if you have a group of friends that you hang out with a lot, but you can't hang out with them as much because you're working your business, and they're like, dude, why don't you just come hang out? It's like, you don't understand. And like your family dynamics, like you're spending a lot of time in your business.
They don't understand sometimes.
Gosh, so it just makes you feel like you're on an island doing all this shit by yourself.
Which you probably are.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to start delegating.
Yeah.
Got an episode about delegation, so got to reach that delegation phase as soon as possible.
Oh my gosh. You got to have a strong network of mentors and friends if you're going to jump into this. So then there's enter your first employees. So traditional wisdom says that when a business and a team, also known as support, grow, loneliness subsides. With employees, an entrepreneur isn't on their own anymore. Technically, that's true, but practically, that's not the way it works. Entrepreneurs can talk to their employees about business, but only so much.
Wow, that's the next phase.
So phase one is being by yourself, and then phase two is hiring employees, and then projecting your codependency to try to combat the loneliness to your first few employees.
But you can't, the relationship, the dynamic between owners and whatever, founders and employees is just not a get it off your chest really kind of.
Yeah, you can't sit down to the W-2 employee that you're paying and say like, I don't know if I'm going to make payroll. like I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
You just hired your first 5 people, and then you show up and you're like, yeah, guys, I'm really stressing about making payroll. Hope you're ready.
Yeah, like I don't even know if I want to do this. Like, oh my gosh.
And everyone's just kind of looking around the room like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
I got to find a new job again.
I quit my big job for this job. I believed in you. I took this job, and here I am. And you're like, I don't even know if you want to do this anymore.
They're all excited about the startup. They want to be part of the startup from the ground up. And then you're like, you can't go to them and be like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to work, guys.
Man, that is such an incredible, true sentiment.
For sure.
Like, you can't be honest because, like, I mean, I guess it depends on how you set up the business, right? Like, but it's still like
But you're not going to tell them. You're not going to be so honest that you're telling them I'm worried.
Yeah,
that you're not going to get paid this month.
You're gonna be like, hey, why were you late today, owner? And it's like, because I was in my car crying because I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
I'm just reevaluating my entire life's existence.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. What's the next stage, bro?
All right, so you got your first employees.
Yeah.
You found some more loneliness.
Yeah.
How exciting. Now you're finding some success.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs in growth stages will navigate many types of relationships, and sometimes it gets sticky even when things are going well. Growth was slow at first, but you've put in some time and hard work, and things are starting to click. This is when human nature can rear its ugly head, and people may start becoming jealous of your accomplishments. Ooh.
Wow.
It can be jarring and isolating. There are also people who will be genuinely happy for you, but still won't understand how hard your day-to-day is.
So this is interesting. So if you come from a place where you didn't know many entrepreneurs or business owners, and all of a sudden you become successful, quote.
Mm-hmm.
And those who just want you to hang out and chill are like, hey, man, where you at? And then those who are happy, genuinely happy for you, but they just don't understand the work that it takes. You feel isolated from them.
They just don't get it.
They don't get it.
Totally. I mean, there's always going to be those people.
Yeah, you got the haters. You got the jealous type.
And those who just don't understand.
Just don't understand.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, why aren't you hanging out with me? Remember we should just get high and watch movies?
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing that anymore?
How come you're not getting high watching movies, bro?
Oh my gosh. So this last stage is you've made it. Now what? When you get to the 7-figure stage, things look like an overnight success from the outside, while the entrepreneur feels the reality of the 10-year overnight success story. Responsibilities have really grown, payroll pressure, greater risk of failure, and unfamiliar challenges on the entrepreneur's shoulders causes a new sense of loneliness. So you've arrived to whatever point was, quote, successful in your mind. You've got a pretty healthy business, and you've got all these significant responsibilities. Like every 2 weeks payroll hits. Are you going to make cash flow to accommodate that payroll? And then that just pushes you back on that island of loneliness.
Yeah. So how many other, unless you only hang out with entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
no one's going to truly understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
And you can't just talk to some random person and they're like, oh, that sounds pretty rough, man. I get it. I was like, no, you don't get it.
Well, and it's like every W-2 is like you get a check every 2 weeks. Like your expectation is I did the work, I get a fucking check.
Yo, for sure.
So like their expectation is like, no, I don't give a shit what you're going through. Like I did my job, I get my check.
Yep.
So like from the differentiation between connecting or empathizing in the context of a W-2 versus founders, it's like, no, you got that check because we had the cash in the bank. And that's pretty hard sometimes. Like that requires loans and lines of credits and like
how many W-2s are really thinking about how thin the margins are sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what company you work for, but
yeah, it's true. It's like the true differentiation between like a W-2 is like I put in the labor, I get X number of dollars versus the founder that has to consider the solopreneur, even the solopreneur who's paying contractors and things like that.
Yeah.
Thinking about like execution and how much profitability and cash flow management and taxes and liabilities and all the costs associated with these things. Like I can see why that's can put you on an island.
You know what makes your island even smaller and further away, bro?
What's that?
This, unfortunately, this is continuing this last bullet. There's another side effect. Everyone seems to have an agenda, whether it's family, employees, or people in the community. Entrepreneurs get tapped for a lot. So it's like once you start to make it, then you have to worry about all the other bullshit.
Oh my gosh.
People coming up to you, you know, your long lost cousins, friends show up out of the woodwork.
I got a business idea. I need a loan. Can I get a job?
Yep. Can I get a loan? Can I get a job? Can I work for you?
I just got out of prison.
Can you pay me $200,000 a month to do nothing?
You owe me, man. Remember we were kids and those bullies were picking on you and I beat their ass?
For sure. I gave you lunch money back in 3rd grade.
Yeah, it's so true. And then employees, again, people in the community like, oh, you're successful. You should donate to my charity. You should participate in this. You should be active here. Like so many expectations are immediately put on someone who's, quote, successful. And you got to navigate that shit.
So true.
Yeah. So this is pretty tough, bro. So like, what's the solution of founders and entrepreneurs and loneliness?
Ooh.
What can we do? I mean, you're not going to stop those things.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop the cousin who, whatever. You're not going to stop the
No.
community who has these expectations. You're not going to stop these W-2s that expect to get paid every 2 weeks. Like, you're not going to stop that.
Well, I think all we can do is find some like-minded individuals.
That is so true.
I mean, you're going to have to find like the focus groups. I mean,
Yeah.
not focus groups, but I mean,
Peer groups.
even when we interviewed TJ,
Yeah.
the whatever CEO for Hit Network, he has a group, right? Once
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah, that's right. Meets
People-
with other founders of 7-figure, 8-figure businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can really offload some of that. Just get it off your chest
Yeah, that pressure.
with people who actually understand.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is why business people usually hang out with business people, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's in the same vein. I mean, you're not going to hang out with people who are losers,
Yeah.
but also with the fact that you're both trying to compound success, you can talk about relatable shit.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think in our tribes, in our social circles, the number one main benefit of those social circles is talking through things that people understand.
Yeah.
And so if you go from someone who was not an entrepreneur to being an entrepreneur to being a successful entrepreneur, your social group may evolve.
Yeah.
Because you need a
It's
place.
going to happen.
Yeah, you need a place where you can just go be honest, and people can empathize, like from experience, what you're navigating.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little self-reflection on there. Imagine that.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
that one comes up a lot.
Self-reflection. Yeah, you're just gonna have to sit down. We talked about in one episode about delegation, so you have time to think, and during those time blocks, which we talked about, you need to sit down and think about this reality, this reality of loneliness, and how you're going to navigate that, and put mentors and people around you to help offset that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This one was good. I was actually reading, I don't even remember where, but they're talking about you may be distracting yourself with good or with bad, but even good habits. So like you might feel lonely.
yeah,
You know, there's going to be the people with the bad habits, but some people like they might go run 20 miles
yeah.
and they're like just trying to beat the shit out of the loneliness with sheer force.
They're trying to
Yeah.
run away from that loneliness.
Literally. I mean, some people, but it's even though it might be a good habit, it might be healthier than
Yeah.
sitting around doing nothing. You're still using it to distract yourself.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah. You're
Like,
not using it to heal yourself or like a plan for this loneliness or build structure around it. You're just running from that.
that's when it all comes down to intention.
Yeah,
So it's like exercising is different for everyone.
yeah.
Like if you're doing it to get away from something, yeah, okay, it's obviously it's
Better than like cocaine.
it's better than cocaine, but you're still trying to get away from something.
Right.
If there's something you're not trying to solve or
Yeah,
tackle.
it's still just hitting the symptom. Yeah.
Pretty wild, right?
Oh my gosh. So the last bullet here that I love:
Connect with nature.
connect with nature.
But there was really they were doing a study about, obviously everyone knows walking is good for you.
Yeah.
Just a simple walk outside, fresh air, all that shit. It really does boost your immune response. It just boosts your mood, whatever. It's amazing for you.
Yeah. I think if you're in the office and you're constantly meeting and talking and interacting and answering emails and all that kind of stuff, you're not giving yourself time to just process some of these realities and, walk outside, away from your laptop, away from your phone, gives you an opportunity just to be introspective and not ignore the reality of loneliness, but just embrace it.
Exactly. It's not about ignoring it.
Yeah. It's about acknowledging that it exists and kind of deciding how you as a human being are going to work through it.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast.
Yeah. You
And
listen to podcasts?
I listen to podcasts. But I forget all the names. It was the Model Health Show, but I forget the name of the guy. But he was following the longest study, I think one of the longest studies ever done from the 1920s,
Holy shit.
where they literally followed people and just would catch up with them and talk to them.
Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out what kept people healthy, literally.
Yeah. Wow.
And you know what it ended up being of all the shit? Meaningful relationships.
Holy crap.
So even people who didn't necessarily have like the best health or the best like habits as far as like exercise or diet, the people with the most meaningful relationships actually lived longer and had better lives than the ones who didn't. So I think
That is
pretty wild,
huge.
right? So it's basically like we're just talking about, we're saying like, how does loneliness give you heart disease? Like how the fuck does that even happen?
Yeah.
But the CDC, I mean, they're doing the studies and
Yeah.
that's what they're seeing.
Yeah.
So the same way it's a loneliness can kill you, but the meaningful relationships
Can make
basically
you live longer.
literally keep you alive longer. And that's, they literally, the guy overtook the study because when it started, he wasn't even born yet. So he took over the study, and they're still like in contact with these, however many people it was.
Yeah.
But it's been going since like the 20s.
The longest study of any research study.
One of, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the longest.
Found that meaningful relationships is the key to a long-lasting life of happiness.
Which kind of trashes all our entrepreneur talk, but no, I'm just kidding. But the point is
Well, gosh, it's so funny, man. I'm glad you said that because, like, you know, we read these stupid fucking Instagram posts that are like, you know, if you're driven, you know, just be prepared. You're not gonna have any friends.
it's stupid.
Like,
You on your entrepreneur journey, hopefully part of your goal is finding people you connect with, entrepreneurs or whatever it is, people in the same vein,
yeah.
and making connections.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like, if your only goal as an entrepreneur is to be like some world famous person, blah, 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 like all you're doing is just operating out of your ego. Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need I don't need to be crazy rich and then like die basically spend the last 30 years of my life alone in a
Yeah.
huge house where I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounds horrible.
You're just miserable.
That's stupid, actually.
So
I don't need that shit.
I reject all that entrepreneurial speak. Find some great
And
friends,
there's going to be
peers,
times where
counselors, mentors.
what's going to happen is as you grow, as you try to level up,
Yeah.
if your old friends aren't doing the same shit, you're just going to kind of...
Or if they're jealous of you.
Or if they're jealous, they're just going to get phased out.
Yeah.
So there's going to be periods of time where like you might not have as many people, but it's not forever.
Yeah.
You know, the point isn't to just be a solo, alone entrepreneur,
Yeah.
miserable sack of shit. You know, that's not
Yeah.
that's not the point. It's like, yeah, as you grow, you're gonna lose friends. They're not gonna understand or whatever it is. If you family, you don't talk to them anymore, but you're gonna find other people.
Yeah. Like practically speaking,
It's inevitable.
Like, if you loved in middle school, high school, sitting around getting high, you probably had some friends who loved to sit around and get high.
I used to love sitting around getting high.
Few people
kidding me?
love to sit around and get high by themselves. And there's a few out there,
Yeah.
but that's pretty rare.
yeah.
So, like, if you decide to launch a business and that business comes successful, you might have other people who also have a business who like to sit around, get high, and talk about that business.
That's different.
And that's different.
So then you're just killing two birds with one stone.
That's right.
One stone.
One stone. Oh, that's great, bro. So again, it's all about introspective work. It's all about looking at yourself and then looking at your group around you, and then just making decisions. You're making sometimes hard decisions, but natural decisions, and who's around you and how are they helping you
And
grow.
finding the groups. There's people going through the same shit everywhere.
Yeah,
No matter how isolated you feel, someone's going through the same thing.
exactly.
That's one great thing about the internet. There's a lot
Yeah.
of bullshit about it, but
You're not alone.
you can find people
Yeah,
that you can relate to
yeah. You just
and
have to
empathize with you, and
even
yeah.
if it takes a little bit of discipline and a little bit of a push to
A
get
little work.
outside of your 80 hours a week of grinding to make your business successful, to find a group that genuinely cares about your success, it's every bit worth it because it'll make you go to that next step.
It might even be. It doesn't have to be just business.
Yeah.
Like when I lived in Wisconsin, I was in a racquetball club.
Yeah.
You know, those were cool dudes.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it may be, you just have to find something
Gotta
that
find it.
that you care about.
Yeah. I dig that.
You know,
That's the big push.
the big push.
Don't do it alone.
No, fuck that.
You feel alone,
But you're not alone.
but find friends.
Hey, welcome to the Focus Cast. You're not alone.
Yes. Bum, 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 bum. You're not
Sweet.
alone. There's aliens. Sorry, different podcast.
They're out there. They're watching you.
All right, bro. So that's it, man. Loneliness sucks, and it can lead to death.
Yeah.
So-
So prioritize not doing that.
Prioritize finding some good people.
Surround yourself with the good ones, the good eggs.
Yeah,
All right, bro. I think that's pretty much wrapped up.
I got nothing else to say.
I'm good here. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the Focus Cast. Go to youtube.com/thefocuscast and slap that subscribe button. Head to thefocuscast.com to share what you want to hear next. Go forth and be focused as boy.